The question looks like from the time, speed, distance. It's a data sufficiency question, so I'm sure that there will be a lot of takeaway from this question. Let's quickly understand what does the question say. Was the duration of Ram's journey from A to B more than 30 minutes? Okay, so we have to find out whether the time, let me write it down. The question is whether time is more than 30 minutes. So to answer this question, what do we need? We need the distance and the speed in order to reach to a conclusion whether time taken to reach from A to B is greater than 30 minutes or not. Let's look at the first statement. Ram traveled the second half of the distance faster than 10 miles per hour. Okay, only the second half, right? So we have some distance. The first half we don't know, the second half we know the distance, the speed was faster than 10 miles per hour, but we don't know how much distance we had, and maybe there was only 1 mile left, and in the first half he took a lot of time. Maybe in the second half was itself long enough to surpass this 30 minutes, so we can't be sure anything about it. Therefore the first statement I'm calling not sufficient. Now let's look at the second statement. The distance between A and B is less than 5 miles. The moment we know that the total distance is less than 5 miles, we have no idea about the speed, so this information in isolation also is clearly not sufficient. Now we have to combine the two statements and see what exactly is coming up as a result. So now we have the total distance. Let's assume that the distance is 5 miles, although it's less than 5, but it can be very close to 5. So I'm assuming that the distance is 5 miles only. It's 2.5 and the other part also is 2.5. So the first 2.5 miles, Ram has traveled at a speed faster than 10 miles per hour. If the speed would have been only 10 miles, and if I take the second half as 2.5 miles, then the time is equal to distance by speed. So 2.5 divided by 10 times 60 in minutes I'm converting. So 25 into 6, 15. So the second half was covered in less than 15 minutes. That is what we can see, because this distance is actually less than 5, which I have taken to be 2.5, and the speed which I have taken the least 10, it is greater than 10. So the time taken to cover the second half should be, time for the second half should definitely be less than 15 minutes. But what about the time in the first half? Do we have any idea about this speed in the first half? Let me go through the question once again. The distance is less than 5, travel second half the distance faster than 10 miles an hour. Now we have no idea about the speed in the first half, and because of this problem we have to say that even after combining the two statements we do not have a unique answer, so the answer should be option E. Here I stop. However, just the last words. To answer any question, we should always have eyes on the missing data or on the parameters based on which we can prove the statements are not sufficient. Now we have concrete reason why the statements together are also not sufficient, because there is no data about the first half except that the distance is less than 2.5, but the speed can be either very fast or very slow, and that will lead us to a time which is sometimes more than 15 minutes, sometimes less than 15 minutes, and we will be confused whether the total time taken is greater than 30 minutes or not. Hence not sufficient, answer E option. Thank you so much for watching the video.